All right, we're going to start a minute or two early with Armando since we're trying to squeeze 3 players in between Coach Davis at 10:15. Excuse me. Brandon, you got a question? Huh? Yeah. Yeah, when you start. Okay. Armando? It's good. So we'll have Armando, then Brady, and Leaky, and then Coach Davis at 10:15 until 10:30. Go.
So, Armando, this is obviously Coach Davis' first NCAA tournament as head coach. How have you noticed him since? How did he take selection Sunday? How has he been the last 24 hours or so? And what do you get in sense of his terms of approach?
Yeah, he's been fired up ever since we figured out who he's playing after the selection show, and just his approach has been a lot different this week.
How so?
Just everything we've been doing, he's just been taking different measures and punishments are based upon, like, if we mess up and things like that.
Like holding you more accountable for specific mistakes?
Things like that, like the little details, because, in March, like, our execution has to be crisp.
Is there anything in particular that he's made it worse for, like a turnover, a missed free throw, like anything like that?
Yeah, stuff like that, not setting the screen the right way, not coming off hard, off screens, things like that.
Armando, what do you know about Marquette? They're basically a completely different roster almost from last year when we played them.
Yeah, I really haven't got that much of a chance to really watch them. I know they got Justin Lewis, who's pretty good. I've been seeing little things about him just throughout the season, little highlights of him. So I know he's a good player, and I know they got Coach Shaka Smart, who's a good coach too.
Did he recruit you at all when he was at Texas?
Actually, no. It was kind of weird because me being from Richmond and him being the coach at VCU, I always, kind of growing up in Richmond and that time when they went to the Final Four, I always was kind of a little bit of a fan of VCU. So, yeah, nah, he didn't recruit me.
Armando, what do you remember about last year in the tournament? And obviously it was one game and you didn't want that. How much have you thought about that recently?
Yeah, it was just a little different with it being the whole bubble thing, but I definitely plan on and want to get to like the next weekend and really get to experience everything as a whole.
What do you remember about, like, after you were committed, watching the 2019 tournament and UNC was in Columbus and then played Auburn and Kansas City and all that? Do you remember watching that more intently?
Yeah.
About doing that?
Yeah, I do. I just remember, I watched a lot of UNC and Duke because that's when they had Zion and stuff like that. So it was a real entertaining tournament.
Do you feel like you were robbed a little bit, just in terms of your first year, you have COVID that disrupts everything. Last year, you're in the tournament, but you have a bubble set up. You feel like you kind of missed out, and now this is an opportunity to experience all of it?
Yeah, I'm just glad I finally get to experience the tournament, what it feel like. Because, like, since I've been here, like you said, it hasn't been the traditional NCAA basketball. So it'll be fun, and I'm excited to see what we're getting ourselves into.
I'm trying to remember, what were the outings? Did you go to the baseball stadium last year, and that was that? Otherwise, you were pretty much in the hotel or at practice.
Yeah, we didn't even go to the baseball stadium. We just sat in that place the whole time. It was terrible. Yeah, it was not fun at all.
And then you guys lose and you've got the bus ride back to Indy. It just feels like none of that was pleasant.
Yeah, that was not a good time at all.
Armando, after the loss at Virginia Tech, did you guys have some time off? Did Coach Davis just let you get refocused for the tourney run?
Yeah, we had a little time off, but we kind of got back into it on Sunday. So, it was good to have Saturday off. And Sunday we didn't do anything physical. We just more mental stuff like that. So it's been great just having these few days off. It's like our first time really having a 2-day stretch off of physical work since the season has started. So we all pretty well rested and feel good.
After the game the other night, Coach said that Virginia Tech's physicality bothered you guys. He's talked about that at different points throughout the year. Marquette is known as a very physical team. What needs to happen for this team to be able to match that physicality?
Yeah, I think we just got to match their physicality.
Is that
How do you do that, Armando?
I mean, just responding, like, when they try to get us out of our offense and make us start, like, let's say when we do, like, the middle ball screen, not letting them force us to set the screen at half court and the guards getting deeper and me setting better screens and us running our sets and executing them and not letting them deny the wings and deny me and take us out of our stuff. And then also trying to do that to them.
Armando, has Hubert reused the plant your feet, stand your ground, and fight back mantra that he used for the Duke game and carried it off since then?
Yeah, I think that kind of been like just what we've been living on since that game. Just, we trying to go out there and punch people in the mouths first now. So, and I think that'll really be something we need to do come Thursday. Just like what he said, they're a physical team. They got a good coach, some good players, fast, so we got to be ready.
Have you looked back at the Virginia Tech game film-wise at all, and what did you learn from that loss?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of missed opportunities. We took a lot of tough shots, and we weren't making shots, and they did a good job of executing, too. And, yeah, that's what that was.
Armando, how do you think you replicate the second half against Duke? Like, obviously, you have some of the best basketball you always play. How do you kind of get to that point?
Just getting in that zone and being locked in. When we all taking great shots and playing together and running our sets, executing, following the game plan, we'll be in good shape.
Armando, what do you think you guys took from last year's loss to Wisconsin that is applicable this year in terms of preparation?
Just the feeling of it, just knowing like there was no more basketball to be played left. Us as a team, we'll never get that team back, and it just wasn't a good feeling. That's something that Coach Davis kind of talked to us about yesterday. Just we're not going out how we did last year.
Armando, what do you remember about going against Shaka's Texas team last season in that loss in Nashville?
Yeah, they was athletic. They had the kid, Kai Jones. He was really fast. He was kind of hard to guard. And then the dude that's playing for the Knicks, too, that was pretty good. And then they had a lot of good guards. That was a really good team. And they played high-paced kind of like how we played last year. So it'll be fun just to play against another high-paced team and hopefully be a high-scoring, fun game.
Armando, you're on pace to have one of the best rebounding seasons in North Carolina history. Physically, it makes sense, right? But in terms of the mental approach, how have you maybe adjusted over the years to get so much better at that particular job?
Yeah, I would say just more opportunity because I felt like my freshman and sophomore year, I felt like I was a good rebounder, but I was playing with like Garrison and then Walker and Dayron, so those guys were getting a lot of rebounds too. But I knew like if I was like kind of by myself, I felt like I could do what the dude from Notre Dame did. I forgot his name. Yeah, Mooney. I saw he was getting all those rebounds. I'm like, I definitely think I can do what he did. So going into this year, I knew I would be able to. I knew I would be in good shape.
I meant to ask you this in Brooklyn, but how did it feel to break the single-season double-double record? What does that mean to you?
It felt good. I mean, I feel like it was. I left a lot of opportunities on the board of getting even more double-doubles. I feel like I could have shattered it, but it was definitely good to break it.
What's your relationship like with Bryce?
Oh, we talk a lot. A lot of times when he come back during the summer, we'll be like talking trash and messing with each other and stuff like that. So it'll be fun the next time I see him to mess with him a little bit.
Of all the players, why Mooney? Like, it seems like it's no offense to him, but like
because I remember my freshman year. I'm like, dang, this guy averaged that much rebounds. I mean, he's not the most athletic guy, but he just had a knack for finding the ball. So I always like would look at that and be like, yeah, I definitely think I could average like 13, 14 rebounds if he can average like 12.
Time for one or two more and then get Brady in there.
How have you seen Leaky change? He's really emerged as one of the best defensive players in the country. What has changed about him since you've been with him?
I would just say confidence. Basketball a lot of the times is a huge percentage of how good you play is just how confident you is. And I feel like he kind of been finding his swag and just being more confident. It's been helping him out a lot.
Anything else? All right, we'll get Brady in here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Armando.
Thanks, Armando.
Appreciate it.
Back to all calls from South Bend and Armando.
Paraphrase on that.
Thank you.
His position rebounding.
Yeah, let's go.
We'll
Start with CL.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see him?
CL, go ahead.
Brady, you are the most experienced player on this team in terms of being in the NCAA tournament. What kind of insight have you tried to give them, or knowledge about what everybody's about to embark on? What have you kind of passed on to them?
The big thing Coach been focusing on is just saying that, we only get one loss from here on out. We only get one chance. We got to take every game one step at a time and just win as many as we can.
Do you remember much from Shaka Smart's Texas teams that that you see in what they're doing in Marquette?
I don't know. I mean, they always play hard. They're athletic. They're just a good team overall. He does a good job with his teams in the past, so I'm expecting the same.
Brady, you mentioned when you first got here that you wanted to come to play meaningful basketball games here, make a difference here. Is making the tournament, does that qualify? Was that sort of the baseline you envisioned? Like how do you do that now?
Yeah, I would say making the tournament is a big step, but I want to win a couple games. I've only won one game before. I want to win more than one and continue playing for a little bit longer.
Brady, after the game Friday night, Coach Davis said that the team struggled to match Virginia Tech's physicality. He's mentioned that angle a couple of times this year. Marquette plays physical. What goes into matching physicality and trying to out-physical an opponent?
I think it's just playing hard, getting the shots we want, getting defensive stops. You get a team that plays good defense or wants to speed you up and get you to make turnovers and rush shots, and you just got to slow down and play smart and play hard at the same time.
Brady, what did you learn about yourself and then the team from the trip up to Brooklyn?
That we can have really good days, we can have really bad days, but when we look back at the Virginia Tech game, it just comes down to wasn't making shots, it was getting the shots that we want.
Brady, how long did it take you to maybe get the fit you wanted here in terms of on the court? Like, it takes anybody time when they go to a new place, get settled in, get in the routines of what you want to do. How has that process worked for you this year?
I don't think it took me too long. I was, here in the summer, I was here preseason stuff. I've been here the whole time, and I've been getting along with everybody and just having fun and enjoying my last year. So,
did you have any expectations of what this year would look like, and if so, how was it kind of correlated to what actually is taking place?
Yeah, I'd say I had expectations of winning games and playing in some fun ones, and I think I'm still on that path of playing in fun games. There's no better feeling than being in March Madness and being able to play and just experience it, and it's even better that I get to experience it the way I remember it with fans and everybody there, and it's gonna be a good last year for me.
On that note, was winning in Cameron, how did that match up to kind of what you thought it might be when you decided to come here?
It was better than I thought it would be. Just the atmosphere over there, the game itself, the build-up, the fans. When we got there, it was a lot of it was unexpected. I knew it was going to be a fun game. I knew it was a big game, but it was bigger than I expected.
On that note, how do you all replicate that second half against Duke? How do you kind of play to that peak performance?
I would say we played like that against Virginia. Same. We've played that way throughout the year. So we got to focus on playing together, playing hard, and just doing the things that we know how to do, and not reverting back to the Virginia Tech game or a Kentucky game or Purdue game, Tennessee game, that kind of stuff.
Brady, when you look back at the Virginia Tech game, was there something mechanically you think wrong with your shooting, or do you just chalk it up to one of those nights?
I'd say it was one of those nights, but I mean, looking back at the film and the game, I mean, we weren't getting shots that we wanted. Coach emphasized talking about, we had the opportunity to get the ball in the post. We had the opportunity to get layups, but we were shooting late shot clock shots because they were messing up our play, or they were getting us out of position. And I mean, they did a good job against everybody that last weekend. But just gotta do the things we want and not let people take us out of what we're trying to do.
Any reaction to getting sent to Fort Worth? Was that you got close enough to home where you were kind of looking at that potential?
Yeah, it's cool. My house now is about an hour and a half from there, so my parents will get to have an easier trip finally this year. I got a lot of friends, high school coach, grandparents. They're all going to be there, so it's gonna be fun. Gonna have a lot of people there. A lot of people will see me.
Brady, Armando mentioned that Coach Davis is taking a little bit of a different approach this week, maybe holding you guys more accountable for little mistakes like setting screens the right way and not letting rebounds fall by the wayside. Have you seen that too, and why do you think he is sort of upping the ante for you guys?
Yeah, I would say he expects a lot out of us, but it's that time of the year where you can't have bad games, and I think he's pushing us to just play our best. Definitely being very critical on small things, but it's that time of the year, and those things need to happen by now, and he just wants us to have a good experience.
How would you describe your tournament experience last year? Not the actual play, but being in that bubble and everything.
It was strange. We were there for the first week, and it was weird. Having to practice and stay at the hotel and not going outside for a couple of days at a time. You're just kind of stuck there, and everybody's wearing masks, and it was weird. It was a strange system, but the gameplay is that. Had a really good game, and there's no better feeling than getting a win in the tournament, and then hopefully get more than one win. But that first win, it's special. It's something everybody needs to experience.
With those teams that you've been on before that had got knocked out in the tournament, did you watch the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight and say, man, I want that, or did you just try to stay away from it once you guys' seasons had ended, the different times you've gone?
I'd say when my season ends, I usually don't watch basketball. I'll probably just watch the national championship games. But I've been to. This will be the fourth time I've been to the tournament, and I've gotten knocked out first round, and I've won 2 times in a row. But that getting to that second weekend was one of the things I talked to Coach about when I decided to come here. Is I want to win more than just one game. So got to really focus on Marquette, and we can focus on the next one after. But I want to keep playing.
Brady, Leaky's been a good defensive player throughout his time here in Chapel Hill. That's kind of emerged as one of the best in the ACC, if not the country, this year. Was there a point in time after you arrived that it kind of dawned on you that, hey, this guy is really special defensively?
Yes, he's like 6'8". He's long. He's athletic. He's one of those players that he doesn't expect much from everybody. Like it's kind of like he doesn't expect everyone to want him to play this huge role. He just wants to be there and help the team any way he can. And his big role is playing defense, and he's really taken that to the next level. I mean, he's played guys all year that are averaging 15 to 20, and he's holding them to less than 10 points. He's holding some guys less than 5, and it's just pretty unbelievable what he's been doing and how he's been able to guard the ball and take on the best player every night.
Anybody else? All right, thank you. We'll get Leaky in here so we can
Thank you very
talk
much.
about ourselves.
Appreciate it, Brady.
He said my new house.
House an hour and a half.
It is weird.
I don't know. I mean, look at the real estate.
Harris from Harris, 3 hours.
Here is what?
How far is Harris?
3 hours.
Okay.
How far is Harris
You
from
want
the
me to, I
airport?
can stay away from that.
Harris might move down to Chicago right airport so they can fly here.
Yeah, I mean, Texas is a pretty big state.
I think his parents moved to a Boston airport for one season.
I would say his parents probably moved.
Every game.
Texas.
His parents have been at.
That's quick research on your part, big
I
dog.
just said 2 hours, 15 minutes.
Well, he said that.
I imagine they still wasn't here.
It doesn't sound like it if he's an hour and a half from Fort
I
Worth.
think he messed with his geography.
You think the fact that he grew up there his whole life, he's fucked up his geography talking to you about it?
Yeah, sometimes you don't know exactly how far things are.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't think his family's moved since.
Sounds like he said my parents live now.
Yeah.
He said my new house,
My new house. That's what it
meaning
was.
what I took it to mean, my old house is in Hera, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
My new house is in
An hour and a half from Fort Worth.
I'll phrase it, I'll phrase it right.
Love it.
Don't worry.
Just go to maps and do an hour and a half radius from Fort Worth.
An IC
Find a-
investigation.
find a
Where is
city.
Brady Manek's parents living now? Here's the radius.
Brady Manek's parents.
Sounds like a good job for you.
I'm on video duty today.
Whoever's doing the transcript can do that and the Brady Manek investigation.
Ardmore, Oklahoma.
Now,
No, I'm just guessing it's an hour and a half from Fort Worth on the highway to Oklahoma City.
He's Steve with that.
Ardmore?
Yeah, just making stuff. I mean, I'm just dropping things here.
I'm not ashamed at all to say that I've never been to Oklahoma. I don't really know it.
I have, but I don't
think I
like
have.
have like a huge grasp on the geography or where the most Sonics are or whatever. That's an Oklahoma thing. Whatever.
Thanks, Steve. I'm gonna use these
You're-
two
you're
stories.
not going to Fort Worth, are you?
No.
God, no.
Yeah.
God knows.
Are you driving to Greenville tomorrow?
I thought about
Where's AJ?
I thought about going down early.
Getting on the plane.
You leaving today too?
He didn't read Steve's, bottom of Steve's email about the presser being on Tuesday. So he went on, booked his flight.
It happens.
Cause I asked him, I said, when you headed up to the presser yesterday, what presser? I was like, you did not read Steve's email.
Yeah.
You would think AJ would be front row center for that.
Yeah.
I mean, his first question.
So basically,
give it to
he had
Brady
a.
Manek.
You
he
forgot
had
to
a
fly out today?
panic
Coach literally
attack
asked, he's like,
yesterday.
I bet he did.
Cause he's like, oh, we'll have to cancel my
Can you come up with something
whole
you see
trip and
us?
reschedule everything. I said, I will go.
Sorry, it's good for your anxiety.
Yeah. 9:30 in the morning.
You're thrown into pressure situations at 9:30 on a Tuesday.
It's cool.
You can talk
Someone
about
asked,
that.
I think this is on.
Once
I think the stream's on right now.
It's on GoHeels.com.
Someone said, why not ask where Brady's parents live other than being wimps and chatter about it waiting for it?
Oh shit, really?
We're wimps for not asking them.
These guys are tough guys sitting behind a keyboard, you know that? Tell them we'll come fight them after this.
Greg, you got one? Yeah, I know you do. Go ahead, Greg.
Leaky, have you put much thought into the possibility of returning for a 5th year?
I put a little bit of thought into it. I'm just, trying to keep the momentum that we have and focus on winning these games. And we'll worry about that when I really need to make the decision. So.
In terms of being the defensive player that you've become,
Mhm.
we're good the first couple of years. You really emerged as an elite talent defensively. What fueled that?
My dad just always told me that defense is just about like pride. It's not really, take one step here, one step there. It's just really about pride and like a will and a want to. And I don't know. It's just really, that's always stuck with me, and I just feel like I can just always hang my hat on that, whether I'm making shots or not. So.
Hubert's talked before about how he is really a positive guy. He tries to do the encouraging thing. Did that help build confidence to enable you to be the defender that you've become?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, this talented team, and just trying to find my niche. Everybody can score the ball, do, a lot of different gifted things, a lot of talented players, and I just needed to find my niche to be able to stay on the court. And me buying in completely on the defensive end allowed me to stay on the court and be successful this year. So, yeah.
Leaky, after the Virginia Tech game, did you guys, Armando said that you guys had some extra time off. How beneficial was that?
It's super beneficial. We had a great practice yesterday, and like I said, we just really want to. I really like where this team is at. Like momentum-wise, despite the last loss, but I feel like we're really playing great, and I don't want it to end. So we got to make sure we stay locked in.
What's Coach Davis's approach been like the last couple of days? Like, how is it?
He's been so locked in. With the record against Texas, or like Shaka Smart, and you can just imagine how intense he's been. Especially yesterday, he was just so dialed in. That led us to having a great practice and having another one today. So.
You got a chance to look at Marquette on tape. What are your observations? What do you know about them right now?
We're gonna watch tape on him today. I haven't really seen much yet. I just know, how Shaka Smart really coaches his players. He really likes them to be physical. Try to punk the other team kind of thing. And so yeah, we'll be ready for that.
Leaky, you mentioned the momentum you guys have right now. What is the thing you say that both you individually and the team collectively are most confident in right now?
Just the fact that we can't really control if we're making shots or not, but I feel like we're all buying into like our role kind of thing, and I feel like we're clicking at the right time, and I feel like we're all playing hard. We love being on the court together, and you can't really ask for anything else with a team.
You're really the only guy to have a normal NCAA tournament experience at UNC. What can you tell these guys about going to Columbus and going to Kansas City that year? And kind of what it's like when there are actually, you can leave the hotel and there are fans in the building and things like that.
Yeah, I told them how crazy it was for sure, but I'm just trying to appreciate the guys. Says this one game at a time. Not to look ahead, control what we can control. We can't control who wins, who loses, but we could control how hard we play. Whenever we get a chance to lace it up. So, and that's what I've been telling them.
Was there a moment in the season where you talk about all buying into your role? Was there a moment where you felt like it clicked?
Man, it's been a couple games here and there, but for some reason the last month, I feel like we've been more consistent with it. It's times this season we've been real inconsistent. You see a team that's one of the best teams in the country, then we'll come out the next game and lose a game we shouldn't really lose. So it's just I feel like we're just, been more consistent with it.
Do you feel part of that is finally settling in with how Coach Davis runs practices and things like that, and just kind of being comfortable with the new coach? That took some time to be able to respond to him, and somehow he's been locked in. And
yeah,
like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like, he's a hell of a coach, and he's a hell of a motivator. He just really just gets your guys just to play hard, and I feel like just everyone really buying in and actually listening to him and seeing the results. When we do listen to him, obviously it works. So I feel like just being hungry for success. This whole team, down the line, and that's helped us out. The last month. So.
About establishing a certain level of trust there as well. Both sides, not just your trust in him, but also trusting each other.
Yeah, both sides. 'Cause I feel like we've always trusted him, and what he's been preaching. So I feel like it's just a matter of him trusting us, not to do anything crazy out there. So.
How is Coach Davis a hell of a motivator?
I mean, you don't see him scowling before the games. Just imagine a pregame speech. It's just it makes you want to run through a brick wall. That's the message I get, and that's just I try to go out there and play as hard as I can every time for him.
Yeah, some big time locker room speeches.
Big time locker room speeches. Like, yeah.
But he does it without cussing, right?
He does it without cussing, man. It's impressive. It's really impressive. It's impressive.
Leaky, has Coach Davis said anything about his personal experiences playing in the tournament? He was on an 8-seeded team.
Oh yeah, all the time. You know, he tells us he was just like he tells us about his NBA career, his his great college career. You know, he said he's been everywhere we want to be as players, and he just tells us like to trust the path and like just trust him. You know, he's not gonna lead us down the wrong way, and you know, you can't do anything without passion or playing hard. So he said, as long as you guys do that, you know, you'll be fine. So.
What were your first impressions of Brady Manek?
He was a great shooter, but throughout this season, man, he's literally like my favorite player. It's like, for me, it's like Kobe White, and then it's like Brady Manek. But Brady Manek is like, Brady Manek is a great player, man. He's not just a shooter, my thing is just, we've always been a point guard. I was just like, it's like a detail game for me, like an IQ kind of thing, and it's just me and Brady just literally just click. I don't know, he cuts, and I just find a way to get him the ball. He's just so smart, and just the way he can score the ball is just so different. I don't know, but I love watching him play. I love playing with him.
What's it like?
Last one.
What's it like guarding Brady Manek?
Guarding him?
Yeah. He said he can't guard. He wouldn't like to guard himself.
Yeah, I heard that. Man, honestly, I don't think I've guarded him much besides in the summer pickup games, maybe once or twice. I'm not sure. I'm sure he's hard to guard. He looks hard to guard. So.
All right, Leaky, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Leaky Davis in here.
Last question.
He got you nervous when he said that.
Yeah.
Guarded him.
I like how he put Kobe in there. That's great.
He was so good.
It's Kobe White. Brady Manek.
For me,
I thought he was about to say Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Brady Manek. I was like, okay, now.
I'm tweeting it.
What if you said Kobe White, Kobe Bryant,
Tweet
Brady
me.
Manek?
I got the quote.
We would all have to try to reach out
sure
to
you-
Kobe
I'm sure
as fast
you-
as
you're good.
possible. Like, Kobe, have you ever met Brady?
I wanted to ask him
go
like,
first
about Maddox. Brady gets crazy when he hits a shot and stuff.
Yeah, Brady wasn't feeling very confident.
I think he's nervous.
And
He does
Looks on the case.
I mean, Armando looks the most uncomfortable I've ever seen.
inexperienced live now?
Armando, love Armando. It looked like he just walked up,
Who's on
which
that?
I can relate to.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody's got new haircuts, by the way.
Yeah, that's stuff.
Looks good.
I'm on his line.
And I see investigation.
You're putting me on a lot of projects right now.
I mean, y'all need to do something other than just post the transcripts. Let's go.
That's what they said.
Transcripts.
That's why he went to Brooklyn.
And Ross.
I mean,
Hasn't Otter put you guys out of the transfer?
Yeah.
Like all you.
ASAP tricks. You were so upset.
I wonder if that's his favorite.
We know
criminal
not all use
player.
our transcripts.
Just
Don't
You were
worry
so
about it.
upset.
I was going to beat it.
No, you weren't. That was the thing. It's ASAP. I'd love to know what a locker room speech that person.
Right, I know. Like some vacation Bible school thing. Lake Texoma. I heard you were on it.
Big eye.
Lake
When
Texoma?
his parents fly here, they fly out of DFW.
Yeah, I
There's
figured
your-
they
there's your-
live closer to an airport.
Ross, is that some capital?
Is that in Mexico? Lake Texoka?
Texoma?
Texoma.
Sounds like it's right on the border.
It is
right on the border. I
Yeah,
forgot that.
yeah.
I mean, that's just my Mebane sensibilities.
My
here.
Mebane sensibilities.
Kingston, Oklahoma.
That's still Oklahoma.
Barely. If they're on the north
Sounds
side
like
of the lake.
Bristol.
It's on-
Could be Tennessee.
North side
could
of
be
the lake.
I
Virginia.
think that's on the lake.
Southern side, it's in Texas.
Yes, that's for.
Can you blow it up a little bit? You would think. I'd just like
They
to
must
point out
have a
that
nice
it's
little-
very close to Ardmore, which is my original guess.
No wonder he's a big Bass Pro Shops guy. parents of all eight.
Go in closer.
They also all in Brooklyn, like all three of his parents
They
and
all
brother,
did.
they all had Bass Pro
Ross,
stuff.
yeah, Ross on Google Maps, you might be able to get the little street view of his house.
That's wild. I mean, that just seems like a fake place. Let's go to Lake Texoma.
So maybe
Right on the Oklahoma-Texas border.
Maybe
Let's
they
go
didn't.
to
Maybe they didn't leave Harem. Maybe they just.
Ala Orange. Right. That's where I do live on Ala Orange.
Maybe they just bought
like
a lake house. They
Chatham.
don't- they don't necessarily have to
Pottsboro.
get the old one.
Pottsboro.
It's still an hour 50.
Did you say Pottsboro or Pittsburgh?
Pottsboro. There's a Pottsboro, right?
Oh,
Look at that. There you go.
See, you thought I was making it up?
I did think you were
it
right.
is. Someone's made us.
North Carolina, Pittsburgh.
Whoa,
Texas,
wow.
Pottsboro.
Your travel history?
Right. Really rolling the dice.
When you go.
What's your travel history?
It's not good. Ended up driving back from New York.
Got Gregory to the Duke game, I get Gregory to the NCAA tournament.
Flight got totally
Be
screwed up.
careful.
Smith,
They can hear everything
Who
you
drove
say.
back from New York?
What? Watched the select show in Newark, Delaware.
You're joking.
No, swear to God.
When were you supposed to fly out?
It was a real
Here's
plane
Coach
train
Davis,
and
Luke,
all.
you start.
It was unreal.
In person.
Right. I was like, where's the Zoom call? Gosh.
Yeah, unfortunately,
good to see you in person.
No, it's fine. It's nice. Hey. All right.
bad luck for you.
Over here on the right, Luke.
Okay, go ahead.
Hubert,
Yeah.
you've been through a normal NCAA tournament experience before with fans being able to leave the hotel. Brady has, Leaky has. What can you tell this team, especially the guys who went through the sort of weirdness last year, about how different this is going to be from anything they've been through?
You know, I really haven't spoken to them about how different the experience is going to be through the NCAA tournament, and I've never done that throughout the entire season. Like, you know, before we played college with Charleston, that was going to be the first true road game that a number of guys have ever played with a packed house. I didn't say anything about that. I said very little about preparation, running out of the tunnel and playing in the Smith Center, a packed house. I just told them how excited I was that they were going to get a normal college Carolina experience. And so from that point, it's been all positive from the standpoint of I'm so glad that you're being able to experience like normalcy. And so that's heading into the NCAA tournament. That's a part that's really exciting for me. Is for the, you know, compared to what we went through last year in Indianapolis, this is going to be very different. So not trying to prepare them, just really excited for them that they get to experience what the NCAA tournament is about.
Armando said you were really pushing details like setting a screen right, everything right now, maybe even more locked in than usual. Kind of what are the...
No, I'm locked in all the time. It just there's no more locked inness. Either you're locked in or you're not locked in. I don't know. I'm more locked in.
he was describing it as more, but kind of what's your message with, I guess...
Maybe he's listening more now. Let's take it from that perspective.
Right. But what's your message that you're trying to get across to these guys, maybe with details or whatever? Is there anything different in the message than it was during the regular season?
Not at all. You know, as I said before, whether it's shoot around, practice, game, ACC tournament, NCAA tournament, from my perspective, it's always live action. And so we always talk about the details and how important it is to prepare to the best of your ability, to practice as hard as you can, to put yourself in a position to play your best. And so that message has been clear, definitive, and consistent throughout the entire season. And so there is no difference. This is live action.
Coach, after the Virginia Tech game, is there any benefit of getting some extra rest?
Yes.
Armando and Lee spoke about getting extra time.
It is. I mean, you know, I told the team right after the game I was disappointed because I wanted them to have that experience of playing an ACC final and winning an ACC tournament championship. That's something that I experienced as a player, and that's something that I want all of our players to experience. So I was disappointed, but I told them not to be discouraged, to be encouraged about the year that they have had and the position that we're in. And also, in the ACC tournament, playing back-to-back games with the limited rotation that we have, that's very difficult. And to play against, I think I told you, playing against probably the two worst teams is Virginia Tech, because the length of their possessions and how they run their offense, it's hard. And so, yes, rest is really good for this group. And the long timeouts in the NCAA tournament are really good for this group as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Hubert, Leaky mentioned that he liked where you guys were at right now, liked the momentum, and he said that the guys have trusted you all season long, but maybe now they're buying into their own roles, trusting each other a little bit more. Have you gotten a sense of that too? And is it fair to say that they are finally, like, can you see that they're starting to gel, maybe even a little bit more week by week?
I do. I've said that over the last month, especially over the last month, maybe the last month and a half, this is the most together that I feel like our group has been, and the healthiest that I felt like our team has been. I think going through adversity and being able to persevere really builds that type of bond. But also, I think just going through a season and shared experiences also helps. I mean, just in regular relationships, it takes time to develop trust. It takes time to figure each other out. And so even though that I was an assistant coach, this is the first year that I was their head coach. This is first year for this year was a lot of newness. And so it just takes time to get to know each other and to understand where each other are coming from, to feel comfortable with each other. And after 11 and a half months of being together nonstop almost every day, it's our relationship, I feel like, just continues to get better and better. It's in a good place.
Hubert, with the team being seated where it is as a number 8, is it hard not to look back on that 1990 team that made the Sweet 16 as an 8 seed?
Yeah, well, I remember, like I told the team when I was here at Carolina, I don't remember, like, being a seed was never something that I ever thought about. I couldn't remember what seed we were the 4 years that I was here. I've never been big on seeding. I've been big on competing and having a chance to win a championship. And so at the end of the day in the NCAA tournament, there's 68 successful teams. So you're going to have to play well against a good team. So seeding really doesn't mean very much to me. I do remember 1990, and I remember playing Oklahoma. Not only were they the number 1 seed, I think they were the number 1 team in the country. We're playing in Austin, Texas. And the other thing that I remember is the play where Rick Fox hit the shot. The play was actually for me. And as soon as we left the huddle, Coach Smith called us all back in. He goes, "Hubert, you make the pass, and Rick, you take the shot." And I remember being so thankful that he made that change, because I wasn't really confident at that time shooting the ball, and I did not want that shot. But I felt comfortable making that pass. And I'm glad that Coach Smith changed it at the last second, and I'm glad Rick hit that shot.
Do you think he could sense something in you?
I was hoping he sent something to me. In the huddle, I didn't look very confident.
Has that happened all this year when you were coaching? Did you notice something and flip it as they were walking back on the court?
Yeah, I've done that before. Not only offensively, but from a defensive standpoint, that this might not be a good matchup. Let's do this, or a certain play. He didn't give me a good look. He didn't laugh at my joke, and then let's change this around. And so I'm glad Coach Smith recognized that I wasn't as confident as I wanted to be in that situation to take that shot.
But Hubert, overall in general, thinking back to that 1990 team, what sense of confidence did you guys have going into that game? Because I remember Dick Vitale calling the upset, off the top. It almost seems like a lot of people expected Carolina to win, so kind of Rizzaro created pressure on you guys.
Yeah, we were a really good basketball team. I mean, I think on that team we had 6 pros. So even though during the season it wasn't as successful as years past, we felt really good about our team and about our chances. And this is one of the things that I try to communicate to the team is we really, like, Coach Smith really got us, we like bought into his like concept of just preparing and practicing and just doing the things that we do in practice on a consistent basis, and that'll put us in a position to win a game. And so we bought into that. We really believed in that. And, playing in the ACC, we were pretty successful. We felt confident that we could beat anybody in the country. And at that time, it was Oklahoma.
For a couple more minutes, so get a minute.
Hubert, is the tape from the Texas game last year in any way at all valuable? Obviously, we played Marquette last year, but it's kind of a totally different team, totally different coach. Like, is the tape from Texas against Shaka, do you go back and look at that? Is that helpful this week?
I don't think that's very helpful. I mean, that's a totally different team. I do know, what is helpful is whether at VCU, Texas, and now at Marquette, Shaka Smart's teams have always been tough. They've been physical. They've been hard-nosed. They get after it defensively. They play fast pace, and they have versatile guys on the offensive end that can post, can drive, and do multiple things, whether it's a perimeter player or a front court player. But his teams have been consistent. They've been fast-paced, they've been physical, they've been tough, and they've been hard-nosed. And so whether it's a different Marquette team or comparing it to Texas, those are the type of teams that he coaches. And so, when we play Marquette on Thursday, we know what we're getting into.
Hubert, there's been a couple times this year when you've talked about how physicality by an opponent has bothered your guys.
It has.
How do you address that going into this game when you know Marquette's going to be physical?
Well, maybe that's what Armando was talking about in terms of I've been straightforward and direct. That's the type of game it's going to be. And so, just like I said before the Duke game, you're going to have to plant your feet, you're going to have to stand your ground, and you're going to have to fight back. And so if somebody elbows you, then you elbow them back. If somebody pushes you, you push them back. If somebody kicks you, you kick them back. And so that's the type of game that you're going to have to play. And so I've been clear and straightforward with the guys about what kind of game it's going to be. And my expectation is for us not to kick back or push back or elbow back, is for us to make the first kick, the first punch, and to stand our ground and plant our feet. And that is what is required for Thursday's game. And if you're not ready for that, then let me know.
Time for one more, last
Hubert,
one.
with transfers, so much is about finding the right fit to get comfortable and be successful, and sometimes it can take time in a new place. Brady described, though, that he felt pretty comfortable right away and the right fit. Did you sense it would take time for him, and kind of how valuable he's been as far as all year? If he's been that comfortable, like, have you noticed him having to have a transition at all?
No, the transition has been so good. It feels like Brady has been here for 4 years. And I just be honest with you, I don't know if there's a formula whether it fits or not. It either fits or it doesn't. And I think the really cool thing is, like, we knew we only had 1 year with Brady. And for somebody that has lived in Oklahoma his entire life, and this is the first time ever living outside of Oklahoma, and for him to come here, like, the guys on the team love him. Like, I can't imagine not coaching him. And we've been together, like, a year ago, I didn't even know him. We had never spoken. And so that's just really, I think it's unique. You look at the transfers that we've gotten in the past, and, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And, Cam Johnson, it just worked for whatever reason. There's a number of factors, and for Brady, it just works. I wish there's some way we can get a COVID year for him, you know, and then we can bring him back again. He's been that off the chart. I love that dude to death.
Coach, thank you very much. Everybody, thank you.
I like you guys in person. This is great. I like it.
So much better.
I love it. I love
Let's
it.
do this again next week. Okay.
I watched the ACC thing, episode 1 through 10. I didn't TiVo it. I got killed.